Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of My Life in Objects. So another programming language themed one, and I thought it'd be interesting to share some APL artifacts that form part of my programming language book library. So again, a bit of a story behind how I acquired these. These were acquired new. So sometime around, I don't know, the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s, I got interested in what I then discovered was termed comparative programming languages. I sort of got interested in like comparing and contrasting different languages, and at that point, end of the 80s into the 90s, it was very much just hands-on, messing around with Forth and some other stuff. And as my interest in different languages grew, I purchased this book, which I think I might have mentioned before. This was released around 93, so bought this sometime after 93. And then I went on a few interesting rabbit holes looking for different programming language books to acquire. And this is when I started to sort of build out my very modest programming language book library. And in here there's some APL stuff. There's only about 10 instances of where it's in here. It's mentioned early on. There is at the end of this an appendix which has actually two appendices which have book recommendations, and this formed, I think, a starting point for some of the books I ended up purchasing. But it was interesting because for this, these I don't think are referenced in this book, but what happened was at that point when I started to buy programming language books, I wasn't using Amazon. I would have had, at that point, a computer, first computer I bought for home use after previously buying PCs for work. So what used to happen then, before me using Amazon, was I'd go to don't really hear about it so much these days, but I go to my local independent bookseller in East Grinstead. There were actually two back then, and they would look up on their system, certain books, and I'd go in with a big list of either books or certain types of books I was looking for. And I went in one day looking for some APL stuff, and the owner of the shop, the person I used to deal with all the time, because he was the one that did all the book orders, and he tracked down these plus a third thing I wanted to show as well, which was an added bonus that we sort of got gifted from the publisher. So these were produced by an independent publisher, from my understanding. So we've got an APL tutorial. So quite a slim book, and I always like in these books how they handle the code in terms of the different, how they do the typesetting differently, and it really sticks out for this, actually, for APL. It's helped by sort of some of the unique symbols used in the language, nice little book. Never really used in anger. I just thought it was an interesting addition at the time to my collection. So in very good condition. And then also this, which is a thicker, an encyclopedia of APL. But you can tell same style there. I think there might even be another sort of APL book in a similar style in different colours. But same sort of thing. It goes through obviously extensively all the aspects of the APL language. I also noticed in here, I think we'll get to it in a moment. Yeah, this. So there was a leaflet from the British APL Association and a membership form. Some sort of book, APL book list as well there for purchasing. What else have we got in there? There was things about IAPL, Interactive APL as well. So yeah, so that was pretty cool. So there's all those extra artifacts buried in around in there. So I'm just going to gently flick through this so you can get a feel for the look of the book. It's a nice sort of old school, programming language look to it, I think. Various explanations there of the features. And some idiom stuff as well, which is always useful. I like my idioms. Yeah, so very comprehensive, nicely laid out. So you've got, the particular feature it's describing, along with some examples, some comments, some further examples. And then, as we saw, where it's appropriate, idioms. So yeah, very interesting layout to this. Pretty unique, I think, in some ways, compared to what other books were coming out at the time. And then this was bundled in. So when the bookseller I used to go to reached out to get hold of these from the publisher, they were quite intrigued into who was asking about the books, because I don't think they got a lot of inquiries. And they actually said, oh, we'll bundle in something extra. And this was the collected education vector, which they just included when they shipped the book out to the shop. And this has got various articles from November 1988 to July 1991 from Vector, which is I understand like a publication specifically for APL. That's issued from, what is it, the British APL Association. So yeah. So that was a rather nice bonus included in there. So they got various articles from from the publication. And I would say I probably picked these up, like I say, sometime after 93. It certainly would have been after I picked up this. So yeah, so I just share that. And it's always nice, like I said, to see the layout of programming books, I think, from different periods in time. Let's just put this back carefully into here. I'd completely forgotten about these, actually, till I open the book again. So thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future video.